What's up, Niners faithful? Whether you're catching this from the Bay Area, overseas, or somewhere in between, thanks for stopping by and making this a part of your day. Look, I know we're in that slow stretch of the off-season, where the pads are off, training camp hasn't quite kicked into gear, and there's not a game in sight. But if you know anything about this team, and if you're here, I know you do, there's always something brewing with the San Francisco 49ers. This organization never sleeps, and neither does the hunger to improve. So while other franchises are coasting through this dead zone of the NFL calendar, the Niners are doing what contenders do, evaluating, retooling, and keeping an eye on every opportunity to make this roster even better. Now, let's talk about a name that's popped up on the market and might be exactly what this Niners defense could use to add even more juice off the edge. We're talking about Aubonia Okaronqua, a guy who might not be a household name for the casual fan, but has quietly built a very respectable NFL career. He was a fifth-round pick out of Oklahoma back in 2019, taken by the Los Angeles Rams, and let me tell you, for a late-round selection, this guy has carved out a niche as a rotational pass rusher who can create problems in the backfield. He's got that edge-bending ability, explosiveness off the line, and a motor that doesn't stop. At 6'2" and about 250 pounds, he fits that mold the Niners love in a situational edge defender when he pins his ears back and gets after the quarterback. You notice, that's not just potential talking, that's production. His first couple seasons with the Rams were solid, nothing flashy, a sack here, a quarterback hit there, and some flashes of the kind of pass rush traits that coaches love to work with. But then in 2022, after making the move to Houston, things clicked in a big way. Playing for the Texans, he put together what you could call a breakout campaign: 5 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 11 quarterback hits, and all of that as a rotational guy. That's the kind of efficiency that jumps off the stat sheet when you consider the limited snaps. He wasn't just filling space out there, he was making impact plays, and keep this in mind. The Texans ran a defensive scheme that's not all that different from what San Francisco runs under Steve Wilks and previously under DeMeco Ryans. There's that familiar wide 9 alignment, which is designed to unleash edge rushers like Okaronqua, give them room to work, and let their athleticism take over. And that brings us to this point, because in each of the past 2 seasons, while playing under Jim Schwartz in Cleveland, he's put up solid numbers again: 4.5 sacks one year, then 3 the next. This is a guy who knows how to get to the quarterback. He's not just a body out there. He's a player who understands leverage, who can bend the edge, and who's shown that he can contribute in multiple systems. So when Cleveland let him go, I was honestly surprised. We're not talking about a declining veteran or someone with injury issues. We're talking about a guy who's still in his prime, who's shown scheme versatility, and who's had tangible production in a rotational role. And guess what? That's exactly the kind of addition the Niners could use on this defensive line. Look, let's be real, this defensive front is already stacked, but in today's NFL, you can never have too many quality pass rushers. We saw it last season. Rotations matter, depth matters, and when you're chasing a Super Bowl, every single piece matters. Yeah, they added Mike Hall Jr. in the draft, and they made that move for Bryce Huff, who by the way had 10 sacks 2 seasons ago and is tailor-made for this system. But adding someone like Okaronqua, who knows the wide 9, who's proven he can disrupt the pocket, who has experience and juice, that's the kind of move that smart teams make. He's not going to break the bank. He's not coming in demanding a starting spot. He's coming in to compete, to provide depth, and potentially to be that spark plug off the bench who changes a drive, a game, maybe even a season. And don't forget, Chris Kukurek is still the guy coaching up that D-line. If there's anyone in the league who knows how to get the best out of a pass rusher, it's him. We've seen him take cast-offs and journeymen and turn them into legit contributors. He's not just a position coach. He's a defensive line whisperer. Give him someone like Okaronqua, who already has the tools, the burst, the hands, the instincts, and I guarantee you, he'll unlock another level. Remember what he did with Kerry Hyder in 2020, or how he helped revive Charles Omenahu's career. This is what he does. He finds traits, builds confidence, and turns guys into weapons. And Okaronqua could be next on that list. And then there's the other part of this, the roster math. Yes, the Niners added talent on the edge, but let's look at the depth chart a little more closely. Nick Bosa is obviously the cornerstone. Bryce Huff has high upside. Drake Jackson is entering a make-or-break year. But beyond that, you're looking at guys like Robert Beal Jr., Yetur Gross-Matos, and maybe Sam Okoyinu. Now, Sam showed some flashes last year. Effort, motor, some position versatility, but we still don't know if he can sustain it over a full season. Gross-Matos is an intriguing piece too, but again, we haven't seen consistency. Robert Beal, he's on that roster bubble. He hasn't shown the type of pass rushing burst you want from a second-year player trying to lock down a roll. So that's where Okaronqua makes so much sense. He could be better than Beal right now. He could offer more immediate production than Okoyinu, and his skill set complements what the Niners already have. He's not taking away reps from Bosa or Huff, but he gives you another chess piece to play with on obvious passing downs. And hey, if you get injuries, and let's face it, in the NFL, you will get injuries. It's a luxury to have someone like Okaronqua in your rotation, ready to step up without a major drop-off. Last year, he registered 24 pressures. Now, that's a bit lower than his breakout season in Houston, but the tape still shows a guy with quick twitch off the line, the ability to dip and bend around the corner, and some pretty refined pass rushing moves. He's not just relying on athleticism, he's got counters, he understands timing, and he knows how to win reps. That's not something every edge rusher figures out. A lot of guys just bull rush and hope for the best. This guy, he has a plan. Now let's shift to the other storyline making noise lately, the Niners showing interest in Damon Arnette. That name might bring up some strong reactions for folks who remember his time with the Raiders. First-round pick out of Ohio State in 2020, tons of promise, big, physical corner with length and a competitive mindset. But off the field, issues completely derailed his NFL career. He played just 13 games over 2 seasons before things fell apart. Legal troubles, maturity questions, substance issues. It was a mess. And he was out of the league before anyone could really see what he was capable of on the field. But now, he's making his way back. He earned a second shot with the Houston Roughnecks in the UFL and actually played well. 18 tackles, 5 pass breakups, a sack, and even a pick 6. He showed flashes of the player the Raiders once believed in, and more importantly, he showed that he's taken steps to grow as a person. Daryl Johnston, commissioner of the UFL, came out and said teams were reaching out, and guess who was one of them? The 49ers. That's significant, not just because they called, but because of what it signals about how they view their depth at cornerback. The starting trio looks solid. Diamador Lenoir on the outside, Renardo Green showing promise, Upton Stout with freak athletic traits and big upside. But what happens if one of those guys gets banged up? Suddenly you're looking at Trey Brown having to take on a bigger role, and while Brown has talent, he's played primarily outside and hasn't had a ton of live reps. He's still unproven. Beyond that, there's not a lot of established depth. The Niners did draft some interesting players. Upton Stout, for example, kid has blazing speed, crushed the bench press at the combine, and plays with serious swagger, but he's still a rookie. And then there's Mara Siegel, who can play nickel or safety, but not really an outside corner. So if you're looking to build real depth and protect yourself from injuries, it makes perfect sense that the Niners would be checking in on someone like Arnette. Let's also connect the dots a little more here. Arnette just signed with the Texans. Who's coaching the Texans? DeMeco Ryans. Where did DeMeco come from? San Francisco. Same scheme, same defensive DNA. It's no coincidence that the two teams most involved in Arnette's comeback were Houston and San Francisco. They know what type of player he can be in the right system. And if DeMeco gave the green light in Houston, you better believe the Niners did their homework too. That's how these coaching trees work. There's a trust there, a shared vision. And when a guy fits the mold, they move. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to For Niners Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. A shocking rumor is beginning to swirl through the NFL grapevine. The San Francisco 49ers may be preparing to go all in for Philadelphia Eagles star wide receiver A.J. Brown. While no official confirmation has been made, whispers around league insiders and anonymous sources suggest that San Francisco is quietly working behind the scenes to pull off what could be the blockbuster move of the offseason. According to reports, the 49ers are said to be willing to part with a package of premium draft picks and potentially a key player or two in exchange for the Pro Bowl wideout. Given their history of bold moves, like acquiring Christian McCaffrey in 2022, This wouldn't be out of character for general manager John Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan. Both known for their aggressive approach to roster building, the potential deal has already sparked chaos among Eagles fans. Many took to social media to express their outrage at even the suggestion that Brown could be on the move. "This can't be real. Trading A.J. Brown would be a betrayal," wrote one user on X, formerly Twitter, echoing the sentiments of many in Philadelphia who consider Brown a foundational piece of the team's identity. Brown, who signed a massive 4-year extension with the Eagles after arriving from the Titans in 2022, has quickly become one of Jalen Hurts' favorite targets and a fan favorite in the city of brotherly love. The idea of him donning red and gold is, to say the least, unsettling for a fanbase that believes the team is still in win-now mode. Still, the NFL is a business and anything is possible, especially if the 49ers are dangling enough assets to make the Eagles think twice. With Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk already forming a potent receiving corps in San Francisco, adding A.J. Brown would create a nightmare scenario for opposing defenses, and possibly a dynasty in the making out west. For now, it's all speculation. But as training camps draw closer, don't be surprised if this rumor gains traction. The smoke is out there. The question is there fire? That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.